All right, everybody, Liv Galvin here again, and today we're gonna get our hands dirty and we're going to take apart our rifle, our Rose rifle. We're going to take the bolt carrier out, clean that thing out, do a visual check of everything, and make sure that we have this in tip-top shape for the next time we go to the range. If I'm gonna take this apart, I have to make sure that it's safe for me to do so. So what we're gonna do is we're going to pick this up and we're going to make sure that we have proper trigger finger discipline, keeping that off of the trigger. And we're going to press our magazine button to remove the magazine. Set that down over here. While we know that the magazine is out, I wanna make sure that the chamber is empty. So we'll do that by grabbing the charging handle back here. We'll also, just to show you, to flip the gun around with my left hand and my left thumb, I'm going to hit the bolt catch button when I pull the charging handle back. So pull your charging handle. When you press the bolt catch button, that's what's gonna lock the bolt back in place. And now I'm hands-free, but my charging handle is in need of going back to its home. So we'll click it back into place and now we're in business. All right, so we're going to make sure that we are good to go and that there's nothing inside of the rifle so that way we can continue cleaning this safely. So I'll take my pinky and I will feel around on the bolt face and see if there's anything there that shouldn't be. And looks like we're good. I'll take my pinky again and we'll go to the end of the chamber or the beginning of the chamber. And there's nothing there either. And then we're also going to check in the mag funnel to make sure, again, nothing is there. And there isn't anything there, but we're also doing that visual check, maintaining your trigger finger discipline, and it looks like we're good to go. So right now the bolt is backwards. It's right in here. We're going to send it forward, and that allows us to take the upper and the lower apart from each other. So you do that by taking your charging handle. You'll unclick right here. Now you have the charging handle free, and there's one more little push back. You'll feel the bolt unlatch itself, and you're also feeling a little bit of pressure from the buffer spring on the inside of your stock, pushing and wanting to make that bolt go forward, so you can just gently ride it forward, click your charging handle into place, and now we're into cleaning the gun. So I'm gonna utilize my chamber safety flag to help me push the takedown pins out to separate upper and lower from each other. I like to start with the rear, and that just makes it a little bit easier, and you'll see why. So we'll take this, we will press against the end of the takedown pin until you feel it unclick, and then you push all the way through. And also just give it a little tug on the other side. It's pushed through, it's captured, which means it won't fall out, it'll just stay exactly where it is. And now I can do that. So the next part is taking your front takedown pin out, and I will do that here for you. I'll use the chamber safety flag to do the same thing with the front takedown pin. So we will push. You'll feel it push all the way through. And then also, again, just give it a little tug. Make sure it's out all the way. That wasn't, now it is. So now that we have the takedown pins out of the upper receiver and lower receiver, we can separate the two parts from each other and take a look here. Just like that. So we'll take our upper and we're going to first remove the bolt carrier group. That's going to be our main focal point for this video and how to do this. So you'll want to unlatch your charging handle like that. Your bolt carrier group will also come out a little bit when you do that. So you can just pull that right out. Your charging handle might do something like that. Totally normal, nothing to worry about. So we'll set this down here and we'll just pull our charging handle out as well. And I'll set that down here. So the first thing that we need to do is remove what is called the firing pin retaining pin. It's this little tiny thing right here. It has a little loop on the end. And if you don't have something that's small enough to fit inside of the loop, if you can find something in your house that, like a pen, that has a little tiny, point to it, you can hook your pen in and use leverage to your advantage and just work this pin out. So we'll set this down right here so I don't lose it. So the next part of the bolt carrier group that you want to take out is your firing pin. So your firing pin is going to be located here in the middle. So easy way to do that is you can use gravity to your advantage. You can push your bolt down, which will push the firing pin out of the little hole, the tunnel that's in, and this is your firing pin. So we'll set that down here too. The next part we're going to take out of the bolt carrier group is called the cam pin. So if you can see here, it's this little rectangular looking object that's sticking out. And what we need to do to be able to take it out is rotate it about 90 degrees to the left or to the right. So I'm going to take my fingers and just do that. So now it's in a horizontal orientation. I should just be able to pull it out pretty easily like that. We'll set that aside, and the last part of this is going to be removing your bolt from your bolt carrier group. So your bolt is going to be this thing right here. So again, some things when we've been doing a lot of shooting, things can get a little gummed up and make it a little hard to maneuver and push things out or pull things out. So you might have to do a little wiggling. So you can just use a little force and take it out of there. So now you have an empty bolt carrier group and your bolt. So now we have everything taken apart. We're going to do a little cleaning and we're going to put everything back together. So the first thing I would do is just grab a wipe, a rag of some sort, and you're going to just take everything and wipe it down to start fresh and clean. So now that we have the bolt carrier group fully disassembled, we've wiped everything down. Now the fun part, we're going to put this all back together. We're going to re-lubricate the bolt carrier group and get this back in working condition for you. So you're just going to reverse everything that we did when we pulled everything apart. So what did we end with? We ended with the bolt coming out of the bolt carrier group. So we're going to reinsert our bolt back into our bolt carrier group. So you're just going to go like that, back into this hole here. This end with the gas key is the end you want to go and put the bolt back into. Another way to do that and make sure that this is in the right orientation is the hole for the cam pin to go into should be facing out, and I should be able to look in and line things up. So I should be able to put this piece back in here as well. And remember, we're going to orient this horizontally because we want to overcome our gas key. So I'm going to do that like this. So now the cam pin is horizontal. We need to turn it back to vertical, and that's going to get us into a position where everything can be locked in together in one full piece again. So we'll rotate the cam pin back to its vertical orientation, just like that. So it should look like that. The next part is your firing pin. So you're going to use gravity to your advantage. There's a hole right here that's big enough for the firing pin to drop into. And we're going to just, like so, drop your firing pin in if I can see it. A lot of this is done by feel too, and that's not a bad thing to practice. Right now, the firing pin is not fully seated. So you want to make sure that you're pressing down, and you might finally run into that resistance, which means that the firing pin is now seated and in the proper position to finally complete your bolt carrier group assembly. The last part of putting everything together is putting our firing pin, retaining pin back into the bolt carrier group to lock everything together as one piece again. So the current configuration that I'm holding this in is not a way for me to put this pin in because there's something in the way. So in order to pull everything out of the way, I need to pull my bolt forward. My cam pin will follow that. And that now allows us to access this hole on the side of the bolt carrier group. The firing pin, retaining pin will go back into the left side of the bolt carrier group. You're going to push it forward, and it should be very easy to just push it all the way through. One final push to make sure it's in there, and you're good to go. So the next thing we need to do is re-lubricate, and we'll put the gun back together. Today I have Spec 1 from SIG Sauer, and this is a great lubricant to use to create a buffer between surfaces. And for the bolt carrier group, I'm going to lubricate here on the bolt itself while it's pulled out. You can just do a little bit here, a ring around it. And you don't need to do too much. It's always good to re-lubricate, but it doesn't need to be dripping because that will actually attract more dirt and debris, and you'll be cleaning your firearm more than you might want to be. So the next spot is going to be on the sides, the rails, if you want to call them that, of the bolt carrier group here and here. So there's 4 of those. So we'll do a little lubricant there, a little bit there and there. We'll flip it over in the same spots on the other side. Here, here, and here. All right, so we're going to put our charging handle back into the upper receiver. So I'm going to take the charging handle, and remember you have these two little ears here. With it oriented upside down, these ears will drop into a section cut out of that channel, which helps lock the charging handle in place. And now I'm in, so it is in its own channel. So now that we have our charging handle inserted, we're gonna put our bolt carrier group in and get this all back together. So my bolt carrier group is upside down. We're going to feed that in. And eventually the gas key and the charging handle will mate up and it'll start pulling it forward automatically. So the last thing you can do is just press your charging handle in and click it. Press your bolt in, make sure everything is back where it needs to be. And you have successfully pulled apart your bolt carrier group, cleaned it, and reinserted it back into the upper receiver of your M400 ROSE. I've put my lower receiver here on the table as a nice sturdy surface to be able to do that and have more control over the gun while I'm putting everything back together. So I'll take my upper and we'll marry the two back together, just like that. I need to push my takedown pins back into place. I'm gonna do a check to make sure I can see the end of the pin on the other side for both front and rear, and I do, which means we have successfully put everything back together. This is now your fully functional ROSE rifle, brand spanking new, nice and clean as well.